It'll be 1 to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 take, go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Why do you got to bring up old stuff?
That's what I said. I hate to beat a dead horse, but, you know, the truth is the truth.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Guys, I may have missed this. Are the new rules going to be in effect here? Could you talk about how that is going to, you see it affecting the race, how it goes, how you plan, and how it'll go?
The biggest thing that's going to affect this race as far as the pit stop rules is the tires and fuel deal. If we have to pit under green and take fuel only, there's going to be a caution within 3 or 4 laps because somebody's going to wreck. Because if you send us out there on old tires full of fuel, it's going to be a nightmare to try to drive it. And unfortunately, I hope I'm not one, but I mean, even the veterans are going to have a hard time driving them. And, you know, a guy like Ricky that's never driven here, it's going to be a handful. So that's going to be the hard thing if we have green flag stops.
I actually ran out of fuel yesterday. I had 34 laps on my tires and pulled in. They filled me up full of fuel. And I think it was one of Kevin's good ideas and said, you're going to have to do gas and go. And I went out there and it was it was pretty scary. So, but I've had some experience with it in the East Series. Actually, they do the same thing. The Camping World East Series, they did that last year. And I don't really understand that too much. I mean, just with the little experience that I have, it doesn't. I don't know. Just it's just weird. So you know, I know if I'm in that predicament, I'm going to be really taking a step back because you know, like Todd said, it could be ugly.
I think one of the biggest things is going to be everybody coming down pit road. They're all quickie yellows, and it's going to be ugly coming down pit road. Yeah. All 36 trucks each and every time coming down pit road, and that's going to be different.
I think also it's going to be interesting is not being able to fill up fuel and tires at the same time, and how many people is going to come and get their tires, then make another pit stop and get their gas at the same time should be interesting. It always made it pretty interesting in the East Series, so it's definitely going to throw a wrench in things.
All right, Utter.
Brian Golden, Antelope Valley Press, Palmdale, California. Ron Horney's from our area, Rick. I'm just wondering, is Kevin more of a teacher to you, or what kind of a teammate has Hornaday been as you've made this adapted from the motorcycles, motocross to what you're doing now? Yeah,
Ron's been awesome for me. He really has. Kevin's pretty critical, you know, with me. He doesn't. He's hard on me, which I want him to be, because at the end of the day, I only have one shot at this, and if everyone keeps sugarcoating things, and I'm never going to get any better, and at the end of the day, the team's not going to be any better. So he's pretty hard on me, which I wanted to be, and Ron has been really, really, really good for me and learning and you know what to expect, and that means a lot, because when I'm around these guys, I don't want to be, you know, messing anybody up. I want to be I want to keep the racing real good, and so it's nice to have someone with his experience to lean on, and I don't have to worry too much about him giving me false information.
All right, Utter.
The decisions based on whether to pit or take gas and some of the changes that have been implemented, are those things that you guys have already had discussions about with your teams, or are these things that are more going to be made on the fly based on circumstances during the race?
I think here, every time yellow comes out, we're going to take fuel. I don't want to take just fuel. I'm going to be screaming, I want 4 tires. I mean, I don't think there's going to be any ifs, ands, buts about just fuel only. I don't think there's no way you can do it. Just like Todd says, they're going to be way too out of control. And if there's a caution with 15, 20 to go, I mean, come in and give me 4 tires, because they drive so much better, and you're going to be able to drive through the pack.
We do, Chuck. Just sit tight.
We know, Chuck. Don't worry.
Thanks. If this system doesn't work out, would you anticipate possibly at some tracks, depending on how it worked, going back to like it was in the beginning, where they would call a halt to the race at halftime, and could you see that happening?
Well, I could see it happening. I pray it doesn't happen, because there was a reason they stopped doing that, because it was not a very good show. The fans in the stands, the people watching on TV, they expect, let's face it, we're in show business. They want to see something good and be entertained. And part of being entertained is watching those pit stops, watching what crew's going to be good, which ones are going to mess up, who's going to come out first. That's part of the show. And I've said this before, I think this new deal, under caution, we're all going, like Matt said, we're all going to pit for 4. We're going to go right out, and we're going to come right back in and get our gas. So it's going to add a whole nother dimension to the show, and I actually think it's going to be very good. It's going to be good TV. If it doesn't work, let's hope they just go back to a normal deal.
Jay Pennell, HardcoreRaceFans.com. Todd, you're going for your 4th straight win at a super speedway. What makes you so good on the super speedways, and what has contributed to all your success? And also, Ricky, you said you did this pit stop deal in the E Series. Do you think, even though you are a rookie and you haven't necessarily dealt with the trucks like this, do you think that having that under your belt gives you a little bit of an advantage?
Well, going up against these guys, absolutely not. I think if I was racing the same guys I was last year, it would be a lot more familiar. But I think it's going to be easier for them. And for me, I'm going to have to learn so much on pit road as far as, speed and getting in there and getting out as quick as I can, where the East Series was a little easier for me because, I don't know, they just didn't have it down pat as much, the drivers did. But I think it's going to be easier for these guys and just going to have to be much more for me to make up.
The first key to anybody's success is having a good team. And I got a great race team. And they know how to build a fast truck for speedways. And we've been very fortunate that we've run the same truck for the last 3 years on a speedway. And when you run the same truck, you can fine-tune it every time, and that's what we've done, and it's just gotten better and better. And, then the end result is when you're on the racetrack, making the right decisions, putting yourself in a good position to give yourself an opportunity to win the race. And I've just been very fortunate to get the right positions and be able to run up front and do the things that we need to do to win.
Questions for any of these guys? All right. Thanks, guys.
They're easy.
Appreciate it.
I know. It's tired. Everybody wants to go home.